What's going on, everyone? Today is the 7th of January, 2024. We're going to talk about the NRA, the National Rifle Association, and the corruption charges. Yeah, Letitia James, the Attorney General of New York, she's suing the NRA. You guys can see it right there on the article from Axios. New York Attorney General files lawsuit to dissolve the NRA. This was back in I want to say 2020. Let me see. I think it was in 2020. New York Attorney General Letitia James filed a lawsuit Thursday to dissolve the National Rifle Association, alleging the group committed fraud by diverting roughly $64 million in charitable donations over 3 years to support reckless spending by its executives. Yeah, the people that sit at the top, that's what she's trying to say. She got evidence. She's claiming that those people that sit at the top of the NRA, they're doing things with charitable money, like money that people have donated to this organization. They utilize that money for their reckless spending. Why does it matter? According to Axios, the NRA is the most powerful gun lobby in the country and receives a huge amount in donations each year. Yeah, there's people who want to have their guns. And rightfully so. Everyone needs protection. But in order to get that, they lobby to get that money from these donators. And they receive a whole lot of money from those donators each year. But the Attorney General of New York claims that the CEO, Wayne LaPierre, and other top leaders undermined the organization's mission for their own personal benefit. Wow. That is where that line is drawn. You cannot take donations and use it for your own personal benefit, plain and simple. But that's what they did, according to the Attorney General of New York. They got off the organization's mission, which is to keep everyone's right to bear arms. The NRA's influence has been so powerful that the organization went unchecked for decades, while top executives funnel millions into their own pockets. This is what Letitia James is saying in a statement. Unchecked. Billionaire problems. Many people who sit at the top of these organizations go unchecked. And at sometimes you think that you're invisible and you think that you cannot get caught. But then in the end, it comes back and bites you. You got to make sure you keep things 100. Keep it real. Because as this situation is going to show you, it all comes back. The NRA has operated in New York since 1871, long time. The suit charges the organization as a whole, in addition to 4 top executives, including LaPierre, the CEO, Wayne. So Letitia James is suing NRA, the business, and also 4 people at the top of the business. Okay. Now, when asked by reporters Thursday why New York Attorney General office is in favor of dissolving the NRA instead of targeting specific people in the organization, this is what Letitia said. Quote, because the corruption was so broad, and because of the level of waste, and because they have basically destroyed all of the assets of the operation. That's how long they've been unchecked. From the evidence that Letitia has, the corruption is so bad. These executives at these levels have done it for so long that it's massive. It spreads throughout the whole organization. President Trump told reporters in response to the news, that's a very terrible thing that just happened. I think the NRA should move to Texas and lead a very good and beautiful life. And I've told them that for a long time. This has been going on for a long time. They've been absolutely decimated by the cost of that lawsuit. Well, I don't think it's the cost of the lawsuit. I think it's the cost of them trying to show that they're not corrupt. the NRA vowed to fight back against the lawsuit in a series on tweets. I think it's supposed to be of tweets on Thursday, stating, this is what the NRA is trying to say. This was a baseless, premeditated attack on our organization and the Second Amendment freedoms it fights to defend. You could have set your watch by it. The investigation was going to reach its crescendo as we move into the 2020 election cycle. So now, Letitia James is trying to sue them, NRA and those 4 top executives, for corruption and abuse of the money for their personal reasons. The NRA thinks, well, that's not the real reason why she's coming after us. They're coming after us because it's an attack on our organization and the Second Amendment. Wow. 2 different perceptions or perspectives. She's going after them because she's saying y'all use this money, these donations that people gave y'all for your own personal benefit. They're trying to say that she's trying to get them for Second Amendment rights and it's premeditated attack. Do you think it's okay for people to do wrong? To take donations that people think is going for a charitable cause and then turn around, they see that you used it for your own lifestyle? Is that right? Are you okay with people taking your money to sustain their lifestyle, to go on lavish trips, to get on yachts, to fly private planes, and here you are working a 9 to 5, get on public transportation, and you just gave the NRA money? And this is what they're doing with the money? They're supposed to be utilizing it for you, the public, the one who supports Second Amendment rights. But instead, they took your money for their own personal reason. Now, this is all alleged because the case hasn't been decided. It's going to start real soon, though. Now, check this out, though. The NRA is trying to say that Letitia is trying to come at them as a premeditated attack on their organization and the Second Amendment, right? Okay, cool. But then this article comes out from ABC News. Former NRA executive pleads guilty to fraud, agrees to testify in New York Attorney General trial. Look at that. Now, here's the lawsuit right here. This is the plaintiff, the Attorney General of New York, versus the National Rifle Association of America, Wayne LaPierre, Wilson Phillips, John Frazier, and Joshua Powell. Okay. Now, the article from ABC just said that an executive pleads guilty already. Trial hasn't even started yet. And this person has already pleaded guilty to fraud. And then that executive also agrees to testify in the trial. Now, which one of these executives right here, off of this lawsuit, agrees to testify? Is it Wayne LaPierre? Is it Wilson Phillips? Is it John Frazier? Or is it Joshua Powell? One of them has already pleaded guilty. So Letitia James' lawsuit has some merit, because you won't plead guilty if you were innocent to fraud. You won't agree to testify to the other remaining defendants if you wasn't guilty. Who is it? Ex-Operations Director Joshua Powell. He's the one that has pleaded guilty to fraud. One of the defendants, who is in connection with the other top executive and the NRA, has already pleaded guilty. Well, it doesn't look too good for the NRA. The admission comes hours after Wayne LaPierre, the executive vice president of the NRA, announced his resignation ahead of a trial scheduled to begin Monday. LaPierre cited health reasons, according to the NRA. The resignation will be effective January 31st. Health reasons? Oh yeah, he might be shitting right now, given all of the stress that he's about to go through with this trial. Powell was employed by the NRA from 2016 through January 2020, and in that time, quote, Powell breached his fiduciary duties and failed to administer the charitable assets entrusted to his care by using his powers as an officer and senior executive of the NRA to convert charitable assets for his own benefit and for the benefit of his family members. Wow. So not only did he take misappropriated money from the charitable assets and use it for himself, he also used the people's money that they donated for his personal, with his family as well too. That is what the settlement agreement said. So that's fact. That's quote. He took other people's money for him and his family. Joshua Powell's admission of wrongdoing and Wayne LaPierre's resignation confirm what we have alleged for years. The NRA and the senior leaders are financially corrupt. This is a quote from Letitia James. This is proof. This is what she's saying. This is just proof that what we have in this case against the NRA and these top executives is even more proof that they were corrupt. The Attorney General is suing the NRA, which is registered in New York as a non-profit charitable corporation, and the senior management for misappropriating millions of dollars to fund personal benefits, including private jets, family vacations, and luxury goods. All of that's going to come out in the trial. You'll see what they did with the money. Is that why he is resigning? The NRA tried to file bankruptcy. See, look at this. They tried to file bankruptcy in 2021, but a federal judge rejected its petition, saying the NRA did not file the bankruptcy petition in good faith. You'll file for bankruptcy to try to get your assets and situation in order. You try to get them books right. You're not really bankrupt, is what the judge is trying to say. It wasn't in good faith. So why else would they want to file bankruptcy if they don't have anything to hide? Now, don't forget, it was the NRA and the top executives saying that Letitia James' lawsuit is premeditated attack. I think she just found some wrongdoings on NRA's part. That's all. I don't think it's an attack. You gave them reason to come in and look at the books. You've gone unchecked for so long, for decades. And now it's coming back. Here it is. You got to answer for the decisions and choices that you've made. And by one top executive already pleading guilty to fraud, and now it's going to testify to Wayne and the other remaining top executives, it's going to be hard. It is going to be hard. Powell admitted he breached his fiduciary duties of care, loyalty, and obedience by using the NRA's charitable assets for his own benefit and the benefit of his family. He also admitted he failed to administer the charitable assets entrusted to his care properly. What did he do? He agreed to pay $100,000 in restitution and accept a permanent bar from serving as an officer in a nonprofit business organization. He also agreed to testify against LaPierre and others at the trial. Now, LaPierre previously said the New York Attorney General's lawsuit was an unconstitutional premeditated attack aiming to dismantle and destroy the NRA. Wow. I don't think that's the case. The fierce defender of America's freedom at the ballot box for decades. That may be the case, but it doesn't mean that you guys are doing other things on the opposite side that goes against the law of corruption and taking money that people thought was going to be used for that purpose, defending America's freedom, and turn around, you guys are using it for something else. That's the problem. Okay. So here it is. Just a couple of days ago, he has resigned. He's stepping down. He's saying it's for health reasons. Others think it's because the axe is about to come down, or the hammer is about to come down on this whole situation in the case. He's been a card-carrying member of the organization for most of his adult life, and he will never stop supporting the NRA and his fight to defend the Second Amendment. This is what he said in his statement announcing his resignation. Okay, So here it is right there. The lawsuit was filed in 2020. So it's been about 4 years. Now she's suing them for fraud and mismanagement. The NRA has denied any wrongdoing. Of course they would. The trial is set to begin Monday and expected to last 6 weeks. Okay. Check this out. They did try to go to Texas. The National Rifle Association calls Texas its #1 option in headquarters search. So they're trying to move. They're trying to get up out of Virginia or New York, wherever they're stationed, because they see that it's about to get real. They're like, we got to get up and go. Maybe we could go to Texas. It's a Republican state. They can help us out, get us out these situations. But then you saw this. The NRA filed for bankruptcy protection in early 2021 to reorganize its business and register its nonprofit status in Texas amid litigation with the Attorney General of New York. So at the same time, during the litigation with the Attorney General of New York suing them for fraud and mismanagement, they wanted to file for bankruptcy in Texas. No, they wanted to file for bankruptcy protection in 2021 and then reorganize the business in Texas. They wanted to register in Texas. A Texas bankruptcy judge, get that, Texas, Republican state. A Texas bankruptcy judge dismissed the industry's group petition for Chapter 11, saying it was not filed for the bankruptcy court intended purposes to help solve financial challenges. That's usually why you file bankruptcy, when you're having money issues and you have to revamp, revise, reorganize the money, try to pay off some creditors, try to alleviate some of this debt. That's usually the purpose of bankruptcy. But rather, they're trying to do it for avoidance of regulatory issues. Oh, so the judge is trying to tell us, NRA, you're not trying to file bankruptcy because you need to cut down on your debt and reorganize this debt. You're trying to do it because you're trying to escape regulatory issues. Now, what regulatory issues is he talking about? Is it the laws that they broke with the corruption and the fraud and the mismanagement? I think that's what it is. The Texas judge saw that, which also goes into credibility of what Letitia James has against the NRA. So there's definitely some points on the side of the New York Attorney General, Letitia James. She got the pleading guilty from one of the top executives. She got that. She also got him willing to testify against the other top executives. She also has this Texas bankruptcy judge saying that the NRA wanting to file for bankruptcy, it wasn't for the true intended purpose. It's for some other reason. You can kind of see that the winds are leaning more towards the Attorney General and none for the NRA. Where are the NRA winds? The only thing that we're seeing from their side of the court is we didn't do anything wrong. This was a premeditated attack. This is just an attack on Second Amendment rights. Like we hear you talking, but where are your wins? That we can see that you're being justified and that Letitia James is the one that's moving wrong, that she's the one that's moving foul. We're not seeing that yet. None of these articles is showing where the NRA is actually winning. Now, the case is due to start. It's supposed to last about 6 weeks. Maybe they get a couple of wins during the trial. But right now, from the articles that we've seen, Letitia James currently has some wins on her side. And I haven't seen none on NRA side. I mean, even the vice president is stepping down. He's resigning. Why would he do that at such a time now? You don't do that unless you're trying to keep the NRA's image right. So you're going to step down now and try to reclaim the image of the NRA. Because I think once this trial is over, you'll see how wrecked these executives were with utilizing money that was donated for their own personal reasons. Now, Joshua, by pleading guilty and paying $100,000 in restitution, may have gotten out pretty easy. I don't know if he's going to get any. I think it's civil, so he might not serve any jail time. But he already knows what's up. Letitia was like, look, this is the best deal I could give you. Testify for me as a witness against the other executives and the NRA. Pay $100,000 in restitution. And maybe be on probation. Or, no, what was it? He cannot be in a vice president or top executive role in a non-charitable organization again. He's like, cool, let's do it. Now, Wayne and the other top executives now have an enemy that used to work right next to them, because he's going to testify. And the questions that Letitia asks him is going to go in direct attack or against the other top executives of the NRA. Man, it's going to be crazy. We're going to see how it plays out over the next 6 weeks of the trial. I might do another update on this. We'll see. But go ahead and give me your thoughts. Let me know what you guys think about this. Make sure you maintain profitability. And as always, trade different.